everyone. So I'm making this video today because I'm receiving this really strong inspiration and personal teaching in my own life and witnessing in the collective that absolutely we're always in transition. Life is constantly moving. And this time in particular feels like such a potent turning point. But as is true with life in general, it's never just about letting go and indiscriminately flowing. There's an element of total trust as it meets really clear discernment, because we have physical beingness, we have a body, we have a mind, we have a voice. And a big part of this journey I find is discovering how to use it, how to engage it, how to make choices that harmonizes with the flow. And the flow is great. The flow is powerful. And it wants to take us to the greatest. If we allow it, and our allowing is in our choices. And sometimes we can become overly waiting, not acting. Sometimes we can become overly yang. And since in this culture we're a very yang society, we value doing, that we will then often create exhaustion, which then often creates periods of having no energy, not being able to act, which can also turn into periods of feeling lost and confused. And I want to offer just a reminder and the empowerment for us all. The great value in practicing stillness and just a very sincere willingness to find out what's true. To not hold much of an agenda or a story or an idea, as I am constantly finding that my existing ideas of my life, where I'm going, what I am to do and what I am not to do, are totally wrong. The essence tends to be right on. I can feel something unfolding. But when it comes to the moment-to-moment details, I'm often left with a very humbling, so what now? What am I cultivating? What am I putting energy and attention for? We have Saturn right now and Mars coming into a conjunction. And I think collectively, in the way we have learned for a long time, it's very easy to look for an external authority, someone or something to tell us this is what to do, this is what to practice, this is how to eat, this is where to cultivate, this is the right way to go. And with Mars moving to Saturn right now, it's really about developing greater inner leadership skills and following our own truth, being more determined and confident and courageous in trusting our own inner authority, our own inner guide to give us the answers that we need. And life is never about right and wrong. So it's never about what's the right thing to do, what's the wrong thing to do. It's always about what's true for me. And the energy of personal truth, it might defy all conventions of who you thought you were, who you thought you were supposed to be. But when we unleash that energy of personal truth and we're courageous enough to follow it, to share it, to live it, to demonstrate it, we become a role model for others. Then we can stop being disappointed and disillusioned by how others in the world aren't what we want them to be, or how the world isn't what we want it to be. For the energy of disappointment and frustration actually cannot coexist with empowered leadership. And I find, and I've noticed, anyone in history that has ever made big changes in the world, these were people that were, of course, willing to stand out. They were willing to go their own way, to do the right thing according to their own inner standards, regardless of public opinion. So regardless of our own personal opinion of ourselves, this is a great time to do the right thing. Right, not a dualistic right, but right in the sense of there's nothing else but it. Our own truth is the only truth, which means our personal truth is no less powerful and real and potent than anything else in nature. Nature only affirms itself. Truth only knows itself. So when we locate personal truth and we start living according to it, we create so much freedom and we align with a powerful force. So even during this time where I think collectively can feel a little confusing, sort of like a halfway point, in between point, and Mars in a balsamics completing a cycle of Saturn, it's dissolving, Neptune squaring it, got a whole lot of stuff going on that can really just bring up this sense of uncertainty and confusion. And it can often lead to despair or feeling of lostness. But to honor that, this is an opportunity, and to not rush it, to really be curious about what's my personal truth. What will it show me? Am I going to start dancing in public more? Am I going to write a book? Am I going to take this time to be more quiet and actually disengage from the roles and relationships that I thought I was supposed to be in? And I can tell you, the one thing the world craves for and yearns for is to be seen. Everything in creation just wants to be seen. And the essence of what we are wishes to be seen. And it's never about I am this is the role that I am, this is my identity, and I'm showing it to you. It's always about whatever identity or form we're taking on. It's always about letting the essence come through. So we don't have to take it seriously. We don't have to define ourselves and make up a story. We don't have to compensate and say, okay, this is who I am, this is my purpose, this is what I'm doing. We can stay genuine and sincere without putting ourselves in a box to create a false sense of knowing or to prove something to others. We are safe enough and supported enough profoundly to really just be ourselves. And so I offer that prayer for myself and for you, for all of us, that at this time we feel strengthened and affirmed and clear about being ourselves and understanding, really seeing with wisdom, that in aligning with our truth, living our inner truth, we align with the same force that creates universes. Because it's just about becoming real. And there's only reality. It's just about not fighting reality. It's about not resisting what's actually true. And things can become very easy. I think that's the main difference between a life of struggle and a life of ease. And I honor the time and the unraveling for us that we're on this journey of unraveling and coming to personal truth, whatever it is, whatever it looks like. I support it. I celebrate it. I think all of life celebrates truth.